like Frank said, I'm in Xavier Evanston. How do I use this guy?
Yellow button instead of that.
So the first diagrams are just the context, which we've already pretty much gone over, but we're in the farthest west portion of Wasson Way, right next to Xavier, north of 71. Zooming in, Wasson Way's rail corridor actually also intersects with another rail corridor that runs north-south and runs along Dana Avenue, intersecting with Montgomery. As far as the framework, this shows, again, the site that we've already heard presentations on, and then the site that I'm focusing on. This shows kind of our collective ideas on where the train center and stations should be placed, with a stop here to the eastern end, and also at the intersection of Wasson Way and the other rail corridor, which is also the proposed I-71 light rail project. Currently on the site, Xavier has built trails, and that also serves as kind of a feeder to the site currently, along with Dana Avenue, directly to the south of the site. The site is bordered by University Station, which is a mixed-use development that is currently under construction, and I'll give more details on that. And Xavier University borders it on the other side. This is an existing conditions map, more zoomed in on the proposed site. As you can see, again, Xavier and the trails, the border to the left of the site, and University Station. This is the full build-out plan that's currently in just phase 1 of construction. So directly next to the site is a planned office development with below-grade parking, structured parking, and a Xavier Recreation Center to the north. Also showing in this map are the existing bus lines. The BRT is planned / already running through Montgomery north-south, as well as some of the more major bus lines. The thicker and darker the line, the more frequently the bus comes and more popular it is. So you can see the 4 and 51, and then also the buses that run east-west to the south of the site. And one of the main bus stops is right here on the corner of Montgomery and Dana, which is a 10-minute walk, but again, the BRT would only run through here. And then as you can see, the existing Wasson Way is just the old rail corridor. As far as some of the precedents before we get into the design, I wanted to focus on utilizing the site to actually incorporate transit bikes and pedestrian in a plaza to create a more of a vibrant mixed-use space outside of the actual land uses that will be located there. This is a picture of, both of these pictures are from Portland's Transit Mall, and specifically Urban Plaza, which, as you can see, has light rail running directly through the site and directly into the pedestrian area. These are stepped seating and waterway, and actually mixed use. Some ground floor retail, and actually Portland State University facilities above, as it borders a campus as well. And I'll show more photos of this, but as you can see, the pedestrians are pretty much just right in the mix of the transit. These are more pictures of Portland. This is their transit corridor. As you can see, again, the light rail is right there. Low floor trains, you can step right on and off into the public space. People kind of just cross at will, and a lot of times the paving is just the only thing marking the different uses in the space, but everyone is sharing it. Bikes, pedestrians cross the tracks. And I also included this plaza and bike trail that is in kind of a series of plaza bike trails that span quite a way in Denmark. Again, pedestrians, bikes, all mixed in, creating way more of an interesting space rather than segregating all of the uses. And then I was also wanting to look at the ways in which you support these different uses within the same space, creating opportunities to not only support the transit use and bike use, as far as bike use goes, the services that would go along with that. And a lot of the spaces, including Urban Plaza, actually include bike garages, bike shops, bike shares, all of that. And then, for the people that aren't using the light rail or the bike facilities, what would make them want to come and stay in that many public spaces that are interesting with elements of green? As you can see, Urban Plaza was, while it's a great example, a little outdated as far as a lot of paving material, not as much green. I really wanted to incorporate both their paving, landscaping, and some green elements. And this is a case study in Taiwan of a sloped green roof. As far as the proposed plan, the site would include a mixed-use transit center of 2 floors, which is located here. Because of the projected use of this area and considering the 71 light rail corridor, we decided to do double tracks, double platform service to this station hub. The ground floor would be most of the transit uses, along with the retail flanking both sides. Parking structure above ground located to the right, and retail on the street frontage. You'll see later there's a retailer here. One more retailer back here, and then an actual bike hub facility with a sloped green roof atop of it. And then in the middle of the site is the pedestrian plaza area between the bike hub and the transit center. And the bike trail actually runs with the tracks through the eastern sites that we've already seen presented on, and then is rerouted down Montgomery to Dana Avenue in order to actually fit it around the site. Just wasn't enough space in here with the double tracks. And the tracks, as you can see, would actually stop here at the platforms and only continue on down here for maintenance and a resting area. But the service area of the trains stop at the platforms as of the current plan. And then there are pedestrian and bike crossings at either end. As far as the bike hub, that would include just a basic bike shop, maintenance, an actual indoor bike garage for parking, as well as the bike parking on the outside of it. And bike share rental would be ideal given the large populations nearby that might not have bikes and the access to the bike trail all the way out east. I chose to route the bike trail, not only reroute it along Dana, but also to bring it up through the plaza, similar to the case studies I just discussed. And this is a section of the bike route along Dana right here. So there's plenty of room, given the width of Dana, for a buffered bike trail separated by the trees in green from the pedestrians, and also, again, separated from the traffic with bollards or what have you. And then we also have some planned below ground parking underneath this site in order to accommodate not only the retailers and the uses of the transit station, but also a little extra space for anyone who would want to park and ride. These are some zoomed in views of the proposed site, both overview and ground floor view. So as you can see, the mixed use hub shows the ground floor retail transit, and the upper floors would be used for the ticketing offices and community conference rooms. And again, you'll see the sloped green roof atop the bike hub. And in the ground floor view, you'll get a better idea of underneath on the ground floor of the parking structure, the retailer in the corner. And then we've also provided for a bus loop to reroute the BRT and the major bus lines that don't already go east-west through this line, through the loop, and back on their routes to provide direct service to the hub. We've also provided for a separated car loop, including a kiss and ride lane for taxis and anyone who's picking someone up, parking space there that wouldn't interfere with the flow of traffic. And then you see here the bike hub structure underneath the sloped green roof. And these diagrams show the pedestrian and bike access to the transit center. The major approaches coming from University Station to the hub. Major approach from Xavier and the Xavier Rec Center to the hub and pedestrian plaza. And again, Xavier through here. And then any foot traffic, bike traffic from the street. In this diagram would show the car and bus flow. So again, the bus loop with bus bays, the car center ramp up to the parking, and or the kiss and ride loop for access to the below structured parking. And these are some perspectives to show the major approaches to the hub. This view is looking from the car loop into the public plaza right here. As you can see, this is the transit center and the paving. It kind of denotes pedestrian space, and then the bike trail right through the middle. This is the parking that would lead to the below ground bike hub parking out front. This view is looking from Xavier trails that lead up. As you can see, the double platform, transit hub, structured parking, and bike trail and pedestrian walkways that cross the tracks. And again, keep in mind that the trains really just stop here and don't cross as much unless they would need to. And this is the sloped green roof that looks towards Xavier, farthest retailer, and the public plaza space to the middle. And this is just a corner, you'll see later, a kind of stepped plaza area similar to Portland's, which is located right here. This is another seating area along with the sloped green roof to kind of capture some of the southern light. This perspective is the main approach from University Station, located here. You can see the bus bays that would drop people off, and the platform on either side, and the transit station here. And this last is an overview of the site. Structured parking on the east of the site here. Bus entrance, car entrances to the structured parking and or car loop. The retailers on the street frontage. Parking and below grade parking here. Slopes, green roof and bike hub, and the southern retailer, as well as the bike trail that cuts through.